And welcome back to game 2 between the third extent and johntabin. So once again, I will pass it over to our commentator, Mr. Dunlow. Take it away.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back or welcome in. We are getting ready to kick off game 2 in a best of 3 series between the third extent and johntabin. The third extent has a 1-game lead with a really close race. Neither runner died. No real problems. The third extent just went a little faster. But we have a big potential situation coming up in the very first level where the runners have to get some bombs and kill the always tricky manhandler boss. So if you're rooting for a game 3, you're rooting for johntabin to navigate things better. If you're rooting for good Zelda, you're in luck because you're going to see it. And they're playing 100%. They have to collect every item. And I think the third extent got a quarter-second lead to the wood sword. So that's basically game over. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so scroll on over to 3 and let's see if they make this thing happen here. See, it looks like, okay, the third extent is switching up. That's funny, they both switched up their strategy from game 1. So you can either try to, and now they're both going top route. You can either go what's called top route, where you go up here, or you can go bottom route. I think third extent went bottom route in game 1. Now I'm questioning myself, but I know John went top route in game 1. And yeah, so let's see what happens here. Again, third extent got a ton of fairies there, which was not what he wanted. Yeah, I thought he went bottom tier, but then I always question myself. Okay, so third extent has a slight lead to the raft. Having one bomb is not optimal, but John only had one bomb, I think, in game 1, and there's ways around that. Because third extent left behind a bomb pack in the very first Dark Nut room of the dungeon, and he appears to be building up to a 10 count, where you can force a bomb if you kill 10 enemies in a row. He could be. Or he was maybe just being cautious about keeping full health. That might have been 10 with that rupee drop there, but it's tough to be sure. Good bomb force by johntabin on the Zols there. Alright, so we have Manhandler fight number 3 of the day. John's got to be careful here. He's going to do some pause strats. Nicely done. He doesn't love coming out with 4 bombs, but third's got 5 bombs. They're both out of there. They both did just fine. Yeah, I think the Dark Nut in there, I think that was the 10. I would agree with that. The fact that it dropped a 5 rupee. If you get 10 consecutive kills and you kill number 10 with a bomb, you get a bomb. But if you kill number 10 with anything else, you get a blue rupee. It's not the only way to get blue rupee. The drop tables are complicated, but in a general sense, if you see a blue rupee and people have killed a bunch of things in a row without taking a hit, then it was likely on a 10 count. Yeah, they're basically synced up here. And they both drop a bomb on the Zols to force the bomb. They know what they're doing. This is fun to watch. Because they are really making this category look much easier than the reality is. They're both playing very well this morning. Third Extent gets stuck in a like there, but navigates out of it. Alright, so they're pretty close at the ladder here. John being on just a heart and a half. It's a little precarious, but he can be alright here. He might even try to force a... Yeah, there's nothing that will really drop a rupee. Or not rupee, a fairy. Third Extent's going top route in level 4 this time. So you get an extra key doing that. That's called the error key room. But by doing that, he's going to work up a 10 count here and get a bomb drop, I would imagine is why he did that. Tabin's going to do a Hail Mary bomb here and get a global drop. He gets 1 heart too, which puts him in decent shape. Alright, we got to get 16 wood sword hits here. Oh my gosh, they're both down to half a heart. Alright, John navigates at Third Extent using some boss strats here. Oh man, that was dicey. They both just handled, sometimes it's about going fast, but sometimes the fastest thing is not dying. And they both do an excellent job of not dying. Right, so they're walking over through the dead woods, and suddenly here, so the early game looks really similar to the any percent run. We got to kill Manhandla, we got to get a wood sword. So it looks really similar to the 3 first any percent route. But suddenly here, they're going to have like 1,000,000 hearts and be killing levels 2 and 1 with a bajillion hearts and getting a bomb upgrade out of 5 and 7. They are about to become well equipped for the challenge of rescuing Zelda. Or the challenge of ruining Ganon's plan to find love and stop this little green guy from invading a land where he doesn't even live and killing a bunch of things. Just depends what vantage point you take. All depends how you look on it, yeah. Every villain thinks they're the hero. Alright, slight lead for John coming into level 2. There's one little troublesome spot in level 2 where you have to pick up the magic boomerang with blue gorillas and fireballs in the room. It's one of the reasons why there is a route where you can do 100% by going to 2 first, leading into the white sword, which is theoretically an easier route, but this room is hard if you hit it up with just a wood sword and 3 hearts. It's still not super easy here. We'll see John enter it here. So on the right side, Johntabin's entering here. So these guys are 5 HP. So what people like to do is give them 1 sword stab, which does 1 damage point, and then drop a bomb, which does 4 damage points. And they never seem to group up really nicely, so you just drop 3 bombs and make it work. You do have to open a wall with a bomb, though, but usually you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, so to speak, and have the same bomb that opens the wall also damage one of the gorillas. Good fairy for John here. He doesn't carry about the fairy, but then it floated into him, so why not grab it? Alright, and third reclaims the lead a little bit with a fast 2. So we got 914 on the Triforce touch there. Oh, Dodongo just turned right in. Super friendly. Alright, so what are we looking at? Under 10-second gap here? Yeah, this is super close still. Nice job by both runners. I think potentially... we'll see how it compares to Game 1. My vibe is they might be on a little faster pace. But I don't know. And so many of the important moments still have to happen. Oh, I said something silly in Game 1, I realized. I said that we didn't know if we'd see the runners grab a potion because the letter takes a little while to grab. But you actually have to grab the letter. That's one of the required items in 100%. Now, the issue of whether they'll actually buy a potion becomes the question. Because it costs 40 for a blue one that you can drink once, or 68 for a red one that you can drink twice. And you have a red ring for level 9. At their level, potion buying is unlikely, and I'm pretty sure neither one of them did it in Game 1. John is handling the coast down here in a little... I believe they did this in a little different order. Maybe, I don't know. They both have 9 hearts. Maybe I was just spacing out and only watching one side of the screen. It's tough to say. Oh no, it's definitely a route difference because Third Extent did not go down and get the coast part yet, and he gets it later. So John's coming into level 5 with 10 hearts. They also bought the candle in a different place. I think the route John is on the right side is very similar to one that I tried 5 or 6 years ago. That used to be called the JSR route. If you know JSR, he's a good Zelda 1 player, good video game player. Seems like a good dude. He's always been very nice to me, at the least. And, I think everybody else. But yeah, since then, the route set... This game is wild, man. This game's been around since 1986, and people are finding new tricks, new tech, new glitches, new routes, new different theoretical ways to think about the game. So if you play the game or just enjoy chatting about the game, the Zelda 1 Discord is definitely a cool place to hang out. We also have a randomizer Discord, if you've ever watched that. And all are welcome. Generally a pretty cool, laid-back community. I'll check out that. Join the Discords coming in there. Yeah, we got the ZSR Discord too. I'm in that as well. ZSR has been awesome. Getting races on the air for us in this tournament and last year during the tournament. Always been a smooth, enjoyable experience on my end as a racer and the day as a commentator. And ZeldaSpeedRuns loves all the Zelda. So, way past 86, you know. The whole scene, basically. Man, that was a smooth Discord plug, by the way, VT Slacker. GG's on that. VT Slacker from the ZSR crew. Running the show this morning. Doing an excellent job of making this thing happen. Alright, so we got the recorder room here on John Tabin's side. With tons of bombs. Doing some damage. And with a fairy drop. Let's go. Third extent has taken a little health damage here, but probably be alright. Just has a ton of hearts at this point. And so it's gonna look like third extent has a relatively significant lead to the Triforce M5. But John has done some overworld stuff going down to the south coast to get a heart that's down there that third extent's going to route in later. So it's going to be closer than it looks at this Triforce grab due to the slight divergence the runners have made. And now I think is when third extent loops over here to get this heart that's south of level 1. Even does the screen scroll to get across the screen very slightly quicker. That's how you know you have confidence in your skills, because that's maybe so like scrolling left to right and then pop it into that bush versus just walking to it is, I would estimate, like 2 seconds faster. But if you mess it up, it can be like many seconds slower. But when you've got that level of confidence in your skills, you're just like, all right, let's just do the thing that's faster. So yeah, they're about 1 minute and 10 seconds apart at that Triforce grab. But John's done, like I was saying, John's done overworld that third has not done yet. And we have some big moments coming up in levels 6 and 8. Yeah, I would completely agree with the comment in chat that says the risk-reward tricks, or really any decisions, definitely makes non-rando interesting. Like, it's not even always like the little glitches and stuff. Sometimes it's like, you see in any percent a lot, like, runner A will be in the lead, and then they have to decide, like, alright, am I going to get a potion before level 9? Or if my opponent skips the potion, they're going to catch up. But maybe if they catch up a little bit, it'd still be good to have the potion. There's a lot of cool stuff particularly because you have the ability to watch your opponent. That's completely legal and common in vanilla speedrunning. You can't do it in rando because, it's unknown information. It's a blind seed, but you're not going to learn anything new about the vanilla seed from watching the opponent. So that's one of the things that I think is super interesting, is seeing the decisions made based on how the race is going on the other side of the screen. Oh, John did the screen scroll too. Check that. Just whatever. Let's just go fast. It's been some high level Zelda these folks are pulling out here. Another thing I think makes vanilla racing really interesting is if you see someone run like the personal best in a vanilla speedrun session, it's oftentimes because they've reset the game a bunch of times, and that's like a pursuit of perfection, which is mentally taxing and requires skill development and is super impressive. But in a race, you can't reset, when something goes wrong. And so I like seeing how people work their way out of a jam when things go off script a little bit. We haven't had a ton of that today, though. We've just seen high-level gameplay. Alright, so third extent is at a 1915 magic sword, which is super impressive in 100%. What's up, Slammy? I appreciate the shout out and the reference there. I don't often self-promote, but Put a Lid on It is the title of one of my songs. I'm a family-friendly, yet smart enough for adults rapper, but it has more of a pop music vibe. So yeah, I write songs about the important issues of the world, like putting a lid on your drink so you don't spill. Look at this Bat Room by Third Extent. Comes out with full health, nicely done. But yeah, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, YouTube. Search Mr. Dunlow. Alright, plug over. Third Extent's got kind of a tougher room coming up here in the Wand Room because of Wizarobes, and yeah, I call it a tough room because I play Swordless, and it's much tougher in Swordless, but it's also much tougher in Vanilla for a lot of other people, but Third Extent comes out of there with more health than they came in with, so yeah, that's impressive. Alright, so we got about a 2-minute gap to the magical sword grab. But John does have one more heart, so that's a heart grab Third Extent has to do. I don't know exactly how long that really takes. Not the full 2 minutes, but John's going to make up some time based on that at some point. Third Extent taking a couple bops here, but doing alright. John's got 5 bombs, 9.5 hearts. He'd love to get bomb in that room, and the Wizards always know when you need bombs. I used to think that was a thing when I was a kid. Because when I had full bombs, they would just be dropping like crazy, and I literally thought the game knew and factored in how many bombs you have as part of the drops. Yeah, that is kind of interesting. They use this, like, master as a verb, like, master this sword. Now, I think Link to the Past was the first time they called it master. But there's, and, you know, a lot of these hints are, translation situations anyway. Third Extent taking a little bit of damage there, but, geez, the fairies keep coming. Yeah, that could just be a coincidental situation. But yeah, that... Oh, John's got to avoid the orange here. Alright, he's alright. Doesn't have a potion though, so this... John is not out of the woods yet. Okay, here's what I was talking about. Third Extent's going down to the coast here and picking up this heart that John already got. Yeah, Zelda 2 is like interesting. It's interesting that Zelda and Mario were like the top dogs of the scene, and their sequels are both wildly different from the original. I mean, I know like Mario was the adaptation for American audiences or whatever, not the same thing, you know. That would have been wild if they had like a Zelda sequel that was like a way harder. I mean, I guess we already do. We have Second Quest. It's way harder than First Quest. Oh, okay. Shout out, Slack. Alright, so you start with the magic sword from Zelda 1 in Zelda 2. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Because, like, if you work this hard to get a super good sword, what are you going to do? Give it away? There's second quest Zelda 2. What are you talking about? Is that a real thing? Oh no, I never beat Zelda 2. Or did I accidentally say that unintentionally? Oh, there is? Okay, wow. Okay, so third extent is doing what I talked about in game 1 this time, where when you have to go to the left in level 8 and pick up that book, it can be a tough moment to avoid taking hearts. And this just became the most challenging moment of this doubleheader for third extent, from my opinion. He does have 11 bombs, but he's now got 6 of his 14 hearts, no potion, and he has to clear 2 Dark Nut rooms. He gets a fairy, which is gigantic. But he's got to clear these 2 Dark Nut rooms, and has to clear a Goma that you have to hit 3 times. But yeah, getting those 4 hearts. Okay, yes, he got a normal size fairy that had an important impact on the race. Thank you, Mr. Literal Man over there. I love being called out on the use of figurative language by the dude who named himself after a street shark. Like, thanks, man. Let's keep it literal over here. By the way, Slamu and I know each other pretty well. I'm not like being a mean person. He probably thought that was funny. If not, I apologize for poking fun at the street shark origins of your name. Yeah, 1 cycle Goma. Crushed it. Man, third extent just... I wasn't even like lying there. I try not to do that on commentary. I don't think anybody lies. I think they're optimistic sometimes. They'll be like, oh, blah, blah, blah's got to be careful. And they have like 25 hearts to kill Astolphos or whatever. I was actually serious that I thought third extent could potentially get in some trouble there. And no, I was just wrong. I mean, I was getting down to 6 hearts during the book pickup and then clearing all those rooms and walking out of the magic key situation with full health is insane. John's got a fairy pickup here, getting some hearts as well. The blue Dark Nuts are in the health group, at least. That's the only thing that's nice about them. Alright, don't forget the heart. There we go, third extent. John does a nice job there of doing some work with the bombs. You could choose to clear this Dark Nut room after you go up to the Manhandla, but I believe the logic behind doing it initially is hopefully when you bomb that wall, you're also going to multitask and do some damage on a Dark Nut, like johntabin just did there. Yeah, so he's having to be careful with the Goma here. Hopefully he can get it in a 2 cycle. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes it does that thing. It's part of the invincibility frames, or the eye frames, I'm pretty sure. Where, like, if you have hit the Goma in the eye once already, but he's still, like, flashing from that damage, if you shoot the next arrow, it doesn't always register damage because he still got his iframes going on. I don't know what was up with that whistle by third extent there. I'm guessing that was like a button pushing situation. Yeah, he's taking a little tour of Hyrule here. Yes, yes. Goma has iframes. And for the benefit of anybody that doesn't have chat open, and or is watching this later on an upload, it's just Andy with the credit for the pun of get it EYE frames, like I, because Goma has 1 eye. That was actually funny. It's just early on my end. And I'm the type of person who I'll think something's really funny and just stay stone face and be like, oh, that was hilarious, man. And forget to like actually laugh. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else has that personality quirk, but I definitely do that. And yeah, the haters in the chat are shooting down that joke, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, if Ganon were smart. So this alright, let's talk game theory for a second. So some of us believe that this whole thing is actually like more of a sport that Ganon and Link are holding against each other. Like maybe Zelda is just playing a role, you know? And I think support for that theory would be like Ganon could have just placed the Goma in front of the bow, knowing that the only thing that would damage the crab spider guy would be an arrow to the eye. And then it would be GG's. Like, if it were really a fight for survival and you're Ganon, why wouldn't you just do that? Like, oh, sorry about it. You gotta kill this Goma to get the bow, and you can't do it, you know? But I feel like Ganon has created a challenge here. But he could have made this thing, like, way more impossible. Like what's stopping him from putting, like, 8 Wizardobes in his own room? Yeah, put a Dodongo in front of the first available moms. Yeah, there you go. Like, just, you know, take out the old people running the shops of Hyrule or whatever. Yeah, I think that checks out in the narrative of the game. I guess, why wouldn't she just hide them all in, like, the same place? Like, hide them all behind the Dodongo. There you go. Boom. Game over. I don't know. I see it both ways. Nice job on the Dig Dogger there. The 3-headed. Level 7 is often a place where I seem to get way off subject in 100% because this magic sword and magic key and everything just... Level 7 is... now on the runner's side, there's a lot of places where, like, it can be annoyingly slow. Like right there with the bubbles that Third Extent was dealing with. If it were like a PB pursuit, you'd probably be a little annoyed. Oh, we got the swag, the gray screen. Let's go. That's so fun. Now there's a thought. The monsters in the dungeons are looking for the Triforce pieces too. And then that becomes like really... Man, like maybe Dodongo knows the Triforce is right next to him, but that the only way the door unlocks is if, you know, he perishes. So then he can't go get it. But why didn't he just have the gorillas come get it? Oh, because the folks in the room south of Ganon, or south of Dodongo, also can't get in that. Man, it becomes kind of a sad tale of self-sacrifice. If you frame the narrative that way. Yeah. So I guess it would have to be like the snakes would have to run up and grab the Triforce after the gorilla and everybody. Oh my gosh, he's in level 9 already. These guys are so fast. Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe after the death animation, like when the camera cuts away, maybe the door opens if Link takes a death. We don't know. Can't prove that one way or the other. All right, so Third Extent is in 9 at 33.25. And the biggest part where 9 can be a little challenging is the race to the Red Ring. There's spots where you can take damage, but Third Extent navigated that pretty well in Game 1. And after the race, we will see if the runners are up for jumping in for interviews. I don't ever make promises, you know, because humans can do whatever they want to do. But I would imagine one or both of them will probably jump in. And they will probably have some wisdom or insight about the race. They'll tell me what I missed when I was rambling about the canon backstory of Dodongo. Yeah, so that block clip right there, if you really like Third Extent's gonna come out of here with the red ring. But if you take a look at what's in this room and what these runners do, like look at these enemies real quick. There's multiple Wizrobes. Third got out of there so fast. You have to run past multiple Wizrobes here. Yeah, if 100% looks easy, go try to do it for fun. Because they're making it look easy, but the brief time that I pursued 100%, I would die so many times there. Now, it is cool, because the Patra right there, when you come from the bottom, like after getting the red ring, the way to do a Patra skip is just to hold up and walk right through them. It's just something about how the frames work in the game. You can just slide right through there. Third Extent's just tanking damage here. Because with over 10, you know, with the red ring, 10 hearts becomes 40 hearts, basically. Yeah, that next room was so fast. And it's smart to lean into the red ring. Like, when you have the red ring, yeah, I would say, like, the 1980s philosophy, if I found the red ring, would have been like, oh my god, I'm never going to die now. But the speedrunner philosophy is like, or if I did just a casual playthrough now, but the speedrunner philosophy is like, I have the red ring, let me use it to go fast. And now this room is being a jerk to John here. He's gonna get around it though. And that level of damage isn't a crisis. But yeah, you see Third Extent there, using the red ring to just bump into the blue Wizrobes. Like, who cares? They do a half heart of damage when you have the red ring. There's no point in slowing down to avoid all contact with them. Like, if you did that in an any percent run, it would be disastrous in a hurry. But if you have to pick up the red ring, you might as well utilize it. And you see John doing what I was talking about there with the Patra. He runs straight through there. And Third Extent taking a bop off the keys there for speed. Some people would do that on Green Tunic also, but with Red Tunic, you definitely should do it. Good first bomb for John. Alright, so Third Extent's got to fight 3 more battles here. The first of which is what we call the Trap Room, because it has the traps. Those spiky things. Now, I don't know if the traps are like... Nah, I don't think the traps are like sentient or whatever. I think they're just like a thing that someone built and put in the rooms. Yeah, good plug there. If you like watching races and you're going to be watching them anyway, and you have a microphone, there is no... we don't turn anyone away from giving it a shot on commentary. Cool gray screen by Third Extent there. And yeah, maybe I've shown you that, you know, hey, if this guy can do it, I can do it. Get your GG. Oh, wait, I've been watching a lot of Swordless. So I've been obsessed with the Swordless category, which ends when you hoist the Triforce in Ganon's room. And I forgot he actually had to kill Ganon. Yeah, so you don't have to be perfect to be a commentator. Alright. Now, get your GGs out for the Third Extent. Very nicely done. Third Extent moving it with the 38-41. John's going to be close to 40 here again. Let's see. It's probably he could pull off a low 40 here. I don't know if sub 40 is physically possible. I'm not good enough at math and don't know the route well enough. But he's going to go fast again. the trap room there. A bajillion bombs left. And yeah, we have seen 4 really good 100% runs here. Yes, John went a 40-36 in game 1. He's going to be, if he gets a polite Ganon, he might improve that for game 2. See how it goes. Ganon slips away from him before the last hit. They did the same thing to him in race 1. And I'm joined by...
Hang on.
I'm almost joined. Okay. Boom. Get your GGs out for John Tabin. And through the magic of technology and time travel, I am very quickly joined by John Tabin. GGs, man.
Yeah, I just had to mute the stream because I didn't want to echo in the background. But
No, it's all good. We were on with our slight stream delay. You were efficient at getting in here, and I was like, oh, he's not actually done on stream yet. But yeah, GG's, man. Like both of them at 40xx. How'd you feel in there today?
yeah, I was listening to the commentary. Very entertaining. I
Oh God,
wondered if you were
sorry.
watching the. I wondered if you were watching the run or not because I completely forgot the letter and had to backtrack, and you just talked right through it. So I don't know if you were being nice or just not watching.
Oh no, I actually literally missed that. When you have someone with my level of attention span doing solo comms, I even
Yeah.
mentioned that at one point. I was like, I hope they're not actually listening to me.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I heard that, but you also asked us to come in here and tell you what you missed, so I decided to oblige.
yeah,
I
right. Like you got to
I
admit your flaws.
Yeah, I wanted to go JSR route in the first race because I do it when I'm low on money because on the world record route with the any road route you need to be at 80 at the end of one or else you have to get an extra 30 secret and it costs time and there's a little less pressure on JSR's route because you can farm up to get them a little more money in 6. And I wanted to do that in the first race because in both races I had trouble getting money in the early game. But in the first one, I was literally at 59 leaving 2, and I was like, well, if I get a rupee from this Octorok, I'll go get the South Candle, and it just didn't. So I ended up, and I almost got to 80 farming Wall Masters, but then I just didn't. And in the second race, I I heard you say nice bomb force a couple times when I was intending to force rupees and got bombs instead. So
Oh no.
that, but that time, I was at 60 exactly at level 2, so I figured, okay, I'll go JSR route this time, and then I forgot the letter, so after 5 I whistled back and went up to get the letter real quick, and then whistled to 4. I thought about doing it before 8 since I'd be whistling back into East Hyrule then either, but I realized I would whistle back to 2 anyway, and I wanted to do it when it was on my mind because I didn't want to forget it later in the route. Because it would be lame to
Yeah, for sure.
DQ.
Like once you get off script a little bit, I think it's never a bad idea to clean up the thing you need to do before you like get back on script. You know what I mean? Like that makes a lot of sense.
Um, but yeah,
But yeah, my comment about the letter was not like a subtle hint to go back and get it. That was completely
I know, no, I
coincidental.
knew.
It's so funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Um,
great, dude. But no, I thought, man, you looked really solid in there from what I saw. I mean, obviously, I didn't see the letter thing. Did a nice job of working yourself out of some jams. The Gliok in race 2, the level 4 could have been a turning point for either one of you. And then you both survived on low health. And that's the kind of thing in a race that can really swing it. And nothing like that happened on third extent side. I mean, both of you just made it
uh,
look pretty smooth out there, and there was no like huge inflection point, really.
Third Extent is great at running Zelda 1. Not so good at finding Discord rooms, but it's okay. I have a feeling he's trying to get in here and having trouble figuring it out, but join the waiting room if you're listening.
Okay, yeah, and
Because he said sure when he was asked in the race room if he wanted to do an interview, but
yeah, we'll
I,
see if he pops on in
but
here, but yeah.
but whether or not he does, GG's. So it's a great run, and he will.
Yeah, the 100% is an interesting category to watch because we are reaching the level where completing a good deathless run, once you get in brackets, that's not that's what everybody is going to do. So it's pretty wild to see the way people can really step on the gas. Like having not watched as much 100%, but having tried to play it, I really thought level 6 and 8 were going to be bigger problems than y'all made them look like. But working your way out of jams seemed to be a thing on both sides that you were able to pull off. So it was impressive. The folks in chat, me, I thought it looked really good in there. What's your outlook for the remainder of the tournament? What other categories are we still running here? I may have actually lost John, who may be
Yeah, no, sorry. I was just
assisting.
responding to Third Extent
That's
in
what I
chat
figured.
because
Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah, yeah, he's saying he can't hear us, but he's not in this channel, so how could he? Um, and uh,
Yeah, I don't
but
see where he is actually.
yeah, uh, he's saying he tried to join. Oh, there he is. There he is.
And welcome in the Third Extent joining us. GG's.
Now
You're
he's here,
muted
but his
right
mic's
now.
off. Can you hear us now? Well, if you can hear us, GG's. Nice runs.
Yeah. If you
Um,
can hear us, my first question would have been, you know, I was gonna down plan questions, but I was gonna dance my way into the fact that I thought it was very impressive when health would drop lower in a potential trouble spot, like 6 or 8 or whatever, you would find a way to come out of that situation with more health than you entered it. Like for me, if I took 6 hearts of damage to and from grabbing the book, I would be toast, So seems like impressive race stuff. We may have re-lost the Third Extent, who went back to
yeah,
the waiting room.
yeah.
Let's see. Hey, John, let's talk about the rest of the tournament for anybody still listening.
Sure.
You've got 3 more categories you're still in, right?
Yeah, I am. I actually have a second quest race and a swordless race, both against Captain Green on Saturday, tomorrow, and Sunday. They are, yeah, 30 cents in the waiting room now. Have him now? Looks like his mic's not off now. Can you
Yeah.
hear us?
Can you guys hear me?
Dave?
Hey, there we
Yes,
go.
yes.
GG's Third
Jeez.
Extent.
What the heck? Sorry, guys. I could play Zelda
Yep.
sometimes, but I can't figure out Discord for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if you. I actually said that earlier. It's,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say I was speculating during your runs whether I don't know if you were listening to commentary. If so, I apologize for rambling or whatever. But I
Oh
was
no, I
waiting
wasn't.
for you to find some trouble that you couldn't, navigate quickly.
Oh,
And Discord apparently was the final
that's the
boss
one.
of the game. Yeah. But other than that, man,
Final boss.
GG's. Yeah, that's great. Hey, I have a question. When you have something happen, like the pursuit of the book in game 2, and it doesn't go great, and you take 6 hearts of damage coming in, and then you got to fight 2 Dark Knight rooms, a Blue Goma, and a Gleeok. How does that affect like your mindset in a race? How do you work your way out of a situation like that on your end?
Well, the health situation kind of worked itself out because I got good drops, but I just go a little slower. Just do everything more instead of like speed strats. Go
That
slow.
answer revealed
And
to
at the
me
same
that
time,
it sounds like you remain calm also. You're like, I'm
Um,
just gonna slow down a little bit, try to get some health drop. We'll see how it goes.
yeah,
And then it
yeah. I
went
guess
well, man.
it was fun. I'm glad we both finished. It was really good. I hope it was fun to
Yeah,
watch.
no deaths. I made one routing mistake. I had to backtrack for the letter, but other than that, clean runs.
Yeah, I played a whole concert in the second game because I was trying to get that
Oh yeah.
sound glitch, and
Oh, you were trying to make it happen on purpose.
yeah, and I got speared in the back, and
Oh, that's
Yeah.
tornado
hilarious.
slid over me.
So to let the audience know what we're talking about, if you pick up a drop at the edge of the screen when you're in the whirlwind, the there it causes a glitch where it makes like the item hoist sound and then turns off the overworld music until you get to the next cave. And that happened to Third Extent like twice when he was practicing this category. So I guess he was trying to make it
Yeah.
happen on purpose.
That's awesome. I love where your head's
Yeah.
at. Yeah, I did notice that one, and I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, he's gonna figure it out. He's just taking a tour of Hyrule or whatever. But
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
great.
Yep, yep.
That's great. That it was so basically it was a mistake in trying to replicate a glitch that some people would view as like an accident. You were trying to accidentally do it on purpose. Phenomenal stuff. Appreciate the grayscale throughout. Like really just putting on
Good.
a show. Yeah.
Good.
I think John dropped a cool swag bomb on the way to the bomb upgrade in 7 that I
Well,
liked
that's
as
not
you were entering the room.
that,
Nice.
that's
Or
not
is
just
that
for
a
swag.
menu? Is that an
Yeah,
intentional menu?
yeah, I like to have the magical boomerang out for the keys in the river room. So and it also it saves a tick on the menu too, but mainly I like to use the boomerang in the river room. So if I have not too many bombs, which I usually don't, because I usually am aggressive with them in 8, I'll throw them out on the way to the upgrade so I can skip the menu. Yeah,
So basically
yeah,
it looked cool. It saved time
yeah,
having the menu and it enhances your defense. Like that covers
yeah,
everything, dude. That's a strong
yeah,
move.
yeah. Yeah, I love that strat. Um,
All right, so
so
third
third,
extent, we're rolling through here. Yeah, John, what were you saying? Sorry.
I was about to say good luck with antlers because that's who he has next
Oh, yeah.
in this.
That's
I mean,
exactly where I was gonna segue to. Yeah, how we
yeah,
feeling about the future?
I mean, I'll do my best.
yeah, I mean,
Try not to
antlers
die.
is antlers is really good. Obviously, he
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah.
put as much time into this category as he has to the others. But that said, he like PB'd in his races the other night, so he's obviously going to be at least he's going to be competitive, whatever the leaderboard says. So, um, good luck with that. And
Yeah,
you,
I mean, popping off a 37 and a 38 or whatever the exact times were, pretty impressive as well.
yeah,
Those are going to be fun ones. Like, that's going to be a good matchup for sure.
yeah. I mean, third extent, your PB is a 37 something, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so well, you could you'll have to put up a strong run to stay, but you can at least keep up with him and keep him honest, because
And I mean, that's the thing here. Like, both of you avoided the disaster spots, and
yeah,
that's what I look out for in a race is like, a manhandle of death, a Gliok death, the Goma 8, whatever. And both of you just navigated this thing really. I kept saying stuff like y'all were making it look much easier than it actually is. You know what I
I
mean?
mean
So really impressive show.
it is easier than some other categories for the most part. There are a couple of places where it's harder, but but that's one of the nice things about racing this. Like you're not gonna you're not gonna run out of bombs in 5 because you have the upgrade. You're not gonna die in the Wizrobe trap room because you have the red ring. It's just like the extra rooms in 8 and the trip to the red ring and a little bit 6, although Wanderum's really not that bad. It's once you know the strat for the second breakfast room with the different spawns, it's 6 isn't that bad, but yeah, it is. Uh, but it is nice to race this because there are only like 2 or 3 places where things can go really wrong, and that's in some other categories there are like 10 places things can go really wrong. So
Oh
um,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Swordless might have 20 if you really list them
Swordless.
out.
Yeah. I mean, swordless. It's really like 6 is like the whole run.
Kinda,
They're all
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
There are other places things can go wrong, but if you have a good 6, you're in pretty good shape in that one. And
Yeah, for sure. All right, that sounded like a sales pitch for a future 100% tournament. We should have 32 or more people come sign up. Like, why not? Come run some Hyundai.
yeah, I think it's going to be a while before we have the energy to do another tournament of this scale. Although I hope we
Yeah,
do some
yeah.
more.
We might let it
Yeah,
breathe a little bit. Come back with
yeah.
some new yeah. We'll figure it out, man. But yeah, you've been crushing it, keeping this one afloat. All right, final thoughts from either of our runners. Anything else? What did I miss? What do you got to say? What do we got?
I had a lot of fun, and I was very glad that it was a good show for you guys. And yeah, that's glad we went the distance.
Yeah,
It's fun.
and Dunlow, thanks for making time to do commentary. As you guys know, but the audience won't. We weren't really sure we were going to have a restream for this at all because one of our admins is busy at work on Fridays, and another one has her parents visiting. So it was touch and go whether we'd be able to get a restream at all. And when we scheduled for 10 in the morning, I said to him, we both like running in the morning anyway. We're probably not going to get a restream. Why don't we just do it whenever? And then Dunlow after that stepped up and said, I can take some time in the morning and do this commentary. So, and thanks to ZSR for stepping up on that end as well, so we can make this happen, which was a nice surprise this morning.
Yeah, for sure. It worked out. When you asked me about comms, I was listing the bullet points of all the reasons why my night and the evening were a disaster. And you were like, what about 10 a.m.? I was like, oh, sweet. That'll be perfect. But yeah, Zelda, which is a weird response. But hey, 3 of us made it work. And then we had VT Slacker making it work and just crushing it. And I really enjoy working with Zelda speedruns, honestly. It's just smooth experience. Everything's laid back and cool, yet professional and well done. So yeah, I had a great time, y'all. Third extent, you got any other final thoughts, or we good?
We're good. Thanks so much for comms, and thanks everyone for watching.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Good luck in the semis.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
All right. So this is the point where I would usually throw it to someone else to do the very professional sign off.
Well,
And
That
so
would be
luckily we
me.
have VT Slacker here to take the lead on that. Thanks for watching, everybody. VT, what you got for us?
Again, give our runners, the Third Extent and John Tabin, a follow. Also, show some love to our commentator, Mr. Dunlow. I know he's got plenty of projects going on for himself. But coming up on the ZSR network, we have a Skyward Sword Randomizer Remlets tournament group match coming up in about 3 hours. And we also have races coming from the Wind Waker Mini Blends tournament, Majora's Mask Zora Easter tournament, and of course, more coming from the Battle for Hyrule tournament. But I'm going to pass you over to Suffice 5K, who's running a Zelda 1 rando right now, and we will see you next time.